Kendrick Lamar. Pretty much on Section 80, it's cut and dry for me. I love the words, I love the rhyming, I love the messages, the personality is great, the instrumentals are fantastic, better than you would expect on a project that is so kind of low-key. I do have a few problems with some of the weak hooks on here. I think, like I said earlier, Kendrick could be a little more enthusiastic on his stuff, and because he is as laid back as he is, some of his guest rappers overshadow him a little bit, like BJ the Chicago Kid and Ab-Soul. I'm feeling a light to decent 8 on this thing. Loved it for the most part, have a lot of love for this album. I like where this guy is going. This LP lasted for an hour and it didn't bore me once. He's obviously advanced past his previous efforts, and I'm excited to see him do that more in the future.
I'm really impressed with this LP. I mean, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think Kendrick has made his profound quality, you know, that quality that he has to bring a strong message to his music, even better. You know, he's evolved that. He's brought it to the next level. And yet he's done it by not being preachy, not beating listeners over the head with some kind of, you know, cause or very direct message. He's done it through allegory, anecdotes, a combination of fiction and nonfiction that if you listen to it hard enough to get the bigger picture, get the narrative, and just hear the story, it's most likely going to have a bigger impact on you. I'm pretty much feeling a light to decent 9 on this album. What did you think of it? If you've listened to it, did you love it? Did you hate it? It was just a few years ago, just several years ago, that Kendrick was the underdog in hip-hop, and now he's making what could possibly be the best rap record of the decade. Kendrick has remained incredibly self-aware and down-to-earth as he has gone through this artistic metamorphosis into a butterfly, or really the face of hip-hop's next generation. I'm not trying to say every artist should try to make this record. I mean, you know, you only get so many Kendrick Lamars, so be happy with the ones that you get. But it's albums like this that people use as benchmarks in musical history, and it just happens to be fantastically enjoyable as well. I'm feeling a come in 10 on this record. Yeah. And again, I'll say I love generally the sound of this album. It's vivid, it's stark, it's sharp, it's stripped down, it's raw, it's rugged, it's tattered, it's dirty. There are a lot of things to like about this album, but I will say that it does read to me as kind of inconsistent. Kendrick's most inconsistent album yet, actually. Not just with the handful of tracks on this thing that I thought were pretty lackluster, but also with the themes of this record being kind of spotty and, again, unresolved. I don't think this album is a total mess, and I think it's far from being worthless. And I wouldn't say the album has no meaning either. I think what the album means is very much up to the listener, I'll say again. And I don't think we've ever heard Kendrick's dark side like we have on this album right here before. But I have heard Kendrick release better projects than this. At least 3 of them, I would say. And that's pretty much what leads me to say that I'm feeling a decent to strong 7 on this record. Tran? You're giving this album a 7? Well, no, you know, it's not a 10. It's not a 10 for me. Then why are you wearing the yellow flannel? It's just symbolic. You know, I figured it's a Kendrick review. It's exciting. You know, wear the flannel. No. You can't use it that way. You can't wear the yellow flannel like that. Yes, I am. How'd you do that? The yellow flannel's gonna sit right here till you learn how to use it the right way. Personally, in this moment, I feel like I kind of want to say something. And I know I've been saying something, but I just want to speak from more of a personal place here and say, as somebody who's been really messing with Kendrick's music since Section 80 and has been listening as closely to the man's words as I possibly can, I would like to say this idea that you should or that you could change the world, that you could save the world, it is not an expectation that I had for you, that a lot of people had for you. In my opinion, the fact that you make such great and fantastic music that is thought-provoking is enough. And this is just me talking as a white guy who often doesn't have a close personal connection to the experiences that you detail on your records. But still, even for me, what you do means so fucking much. You know, understand that Kendrick undergoes a metamorphosis across this project, and in a way, in terms of insight and perspective and attitude, you're getting two different people or two different versions of him on this project a little bit. But keep in mind, like, these two different versions are the same person. You know, it's one version staring into a mirror and seeing the other one back in a way. And what you're seeing in the mirror, some things have changed, some things are different, some things are kind of the same. But regardless, even though you have made changes in your life, especially for the positive, that doesn't mean that you're a different person. You're still that same person. That reflection, that image is still you. And I would like to say overall, I loved this project and I thought it was a great experience, and I really enjoyed it. I'm feeling a light 8 on this one. Tran.